Why are there so many fucking frogs? Hello ladies and gentlemen of the internet, it's RJ and it's that wonderful time of year where the entire country has had spring for 2 months and the frozen tundra of Illinois finally gets to bask in it. So as you can hear in the background, there are about 500 frogs in the background. That's not going to stop us though. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Bandai Tamashii Nations SH Figuarts Ultraman G'd Primitive. Oh, what great sin against humanity have I created by posing him like this. Moving on to articulation, we have a ball peg for the head, and the fin kind of goes in and out to cover up that gap a little bit. Ball joint for the neck, it's not really super responsive though. The standard stuff for the arms, you know the dealio. Bicep swivel, it's a little bit stuck though. No butterfly hinge, but it kind of sort of acts like one. Double hinged elbows, goes back and forth. Ball peg for the wrists. The way the chest is cut is a little bit awkward. Instead of just being cut where his chest ends, it's cut right here in his midsection. Doesn't really interfere with the articulation at all, it just looks a little bit wonky. Ball joint right here. Standard Figuarts inset hips with a piece to cover the internal workings. Double hinge knees, the standard ankles, now that is good stuff, and then the toe hinge, which is an essential. Moving on to the detail for G'd, he's looking pretty spicy. So we've got the nice primary silver like we do on all the Ultras as we do with the red, and then we've got these really chaotic black markings from El Dad. Got his nice pearly blue bright eyes which look really cool. We have his color timer, we have his really lame chest armor. We have the fins on his elbows. As you can see on the back, you can really see where the influence from Belial came on this design, on the legs. Just a lot of really nice looking black and red paint. Now I'm not sure if this is from me leaving the figure in this pose for too long, but around the thighs and the left arm, there's some very nice cuts in the paint. I don't know if they're going to be super apparent on camera, but they definitely are there. And this is the same issue that I get when I pose my figures on stage acts for too long, so future video on that one coming up eventually. But in short, this figure looks excellent. You can really see that it's supposed to look like a man in a suit. They've got the proportions down pretty much perfectly. It looks exactly like it does in the show, so nothing to complain about there. Moving on to accessories, we have a pair of binocular holding hands, a pair of very aggressive jazz hands, a pair of fists that it was nice of the train to come visit, some flat chopping hands, still going, and then finally a hand with the Wrecking Burst effect part, and it's got these nice black tendrils on it. As a point of reference, the blades on the back of the forearm are very sharp, so please be careful when swapping them. And then finally we have a red color timer effect piece, except it's kind of pink, so it's nice that they let the colorblind guy in on the effects department. For packaging, here we have the box that G'd comes in. Once again, nice picture of the suit. It's looking pretty wrinkly around the arms. Ultraman G'd Primitive, we have the logo for the show. No bluefin sticker since I imported it. We have the top of the box, and you have these nice red lines all throughout the box, so it kind of looks like G'd himself. Promotional pictures. It's a pain in the ass to actually get him into the Wrecking Burst pose, because his arms are really pointy and they don't like to cooperate. But wait, what's this? For scaling, here we have the Mad Lad himself with the SH Figuarts Zophie and the very old Ultra Act Zamsha that just fell over. Overall, the SH Figuarts G'd is pretty alright. It's a passable figure of a character from a really bad show. The paintwork is pretty good, except for the silver is a little bit chalky in some places and it likes to scratch. The accessories are pretty comprehensive except for the head for the red-eyed form, but oh well, what are you going to do? I suppose there's mods for that. Overall, it's not really anything to write home about. It's standard, except in the areas where it's less than standard. So if you like the show, all three of you out there, I guess you could pick it up. If you like the design, I suppose you could go for it, but it's a $40 figure, and if you don't really have any kind of emotional attachment, I don't see you dropping that kind of clams.